Well, we are broadcasting live from the mothership. You are tuned in and listening to Starseed Energy Radio with your host Jonah Bolt. Starseed Energy Radio, where you can always tune in to hear the colors and see the music. Starseed Energy Radio goes live in 3, 2, 1.
What's up, Spaceship Earth? Thanks for tuning in. You're receiving a live transmission from Starseed Radio. It is time to hear the colors and see the music. I'm your host, Jonah Bolt. Today is Monday, October 6, 2014. Hope everybody out there had an amazing weekend. I know I did myself, hung out with some friends, had a little relaxing time, and lots of other fun work going on. Lots of news to cover today. We got a great show lined up. We have our very own Matthew Dernick, coming on to talk about some more news updates on the Ebola outbreak, touch on ISIS a little bit, some earth changes with some volcanic activity going on, a little bit of the Hong Kong protests, and then talk about the shocking breaking news from North Korea. Very interesting news. Since I just said last week that we need more feminine energy on the planet, we'll talk a little bit about what that means. And then the second half of the show, we have Luke Mitchell coming on, joining us all the way from England. And he'll be coming on to the show today talking about electronic medicine and cell regeneration. And there is no one more that I've ever spoken to that knows more information on cell regeneration and electronic medicine than Luke Mitchell. I met him a while back in the Amazon in Peru and had an amazing experience and just, got to share lots of amazing space and information and knowledge with Luke. Very, very interesting and groundbreaking stuff that he's going to talk about. And our music DJ guest this week is DJ Michael Scalar. We'll be playing his mix all week long, and we'll have him on the show at some point this week. So with that, let's go ahead and jump right into the news and updates, and welcome to the show, Ryan. Ryan, how's it going this morning? How you doing? Do you have a good weekend? Oh, the station does not have Ryan yet. Working on getting him in. So basically, I'll jump into the news myself, and we can talk a little bit about the North Korea. What happened is the predecessor to Kim Jong-il has been missing for over a week now, and it has been reported that his sister is currently in power of North Korea. Now, obviously, people who know North Korea know that to get real news out of North Korea is almost impossible, but from what sources have said, that is what's going on. And now Ryan is with us on the show. Ryan, how's it going, man?
Very well. How you doing, John?
Doing good. We were just jumping in the news talking about the North Korea and what is going on. Ryan, I've reported about as much information I know, because we know North Korea information, for one, is almost impossible to get because they're totally communist and fascist and doesn't let any news. And
they're basically have been in a lockdown previous to this thing. They have a lockdown. I mean, no one really can leave.
Their country's been on lockdown for hundreds of years, I think. It's been locked down. But what can you tell us about what's going on in North Korea as of today?
Basically, in regards to North Korea, Jan Jing-sun made a sensational assertion at a conference in Holland recently. And basically what it said is the former propaganda officer said that he's now just a puppet leader, and claims the organization and guidance department hold the real power in North Korea. And the lockdown in Pyongyang, with even the elite banned from entering or leaving, is evidence of that. So there has been a definite coup, a a power shift that's going on, and I'm sure you alluded to some of the information previous before I came on the air in regards to his sister being right now a transitional or temporary leader that's holding office right now, just holding things down. But there is an oddity in the fact that he just basically disappeared, so that it's really unbeknownst or unknown what was really has gone on and where he is at this juncture. But in other news in Southeast Asia, from Tibet to Taiwan, everyone in that part of the world is really focused on Hong Kong and the protests that have been going on for a little over a week actually. And as the hundreds of protests continue to occupy the streets there, it's basically showing that there is solidarity amongst the people, especially the youth. A lot of very educated individuals that have been out at these pushing. Even families have been showing solidarity for the protest over in Hong Kong. And these are all over the fact that they are going against their word when Hong Kong was given back by the British to China. China was supposed to uphold at least for 50 years the agreement that you would have citizens that were national, that could elect, and could vote in people into office. What it's showing is now is contrary and contradictory to what was said then. And as we said last week, it just shows how China has really now come into the fold. Though they may produce a lot of the world's goods, manufacture a lot of the world's goods. Let's be frank, their labor laws are non-existent. I think that right now you're seeing the growth pains of possibly a transition toward an eventual democracy in China, hopefully. But you know that the elite that hold power in China do not want that. They want a totalitarian-esque country with a hybrid.
Ryan, you there? I think you might have lost. Oh, there you go.
I'm here.
Now.
Yeah, but yeah. Other than that's what my view is on the whole protest. It's really a deeper rooted protest. It's not just in regards to these term elections.
No, we've been talking about this. We've seen these protests pop up all over the world. We're talking about the Middle East. I mean, China, Asia, Europe. I mean, the bottom line is this: people are fed up and they're waking up. They're waking up to this entire global system for the people. We're talking about financial systems. We're talking about resources, oil, fracking. We're talking about education. We're talking about health. I mean, you name it, and I can give you a dozen reasons that all those departments are not for the people. They're in place to hurt us. They're in place to put us in fear. They're in place to hold us down. The entire system needs to be changed.
Exactly,
and it's fearful for people, but it has to be done.
And as we talked about last week in regards to ISIS and how we said, well, yeah, who trained ISIS? Who's giving ISIS the weapons? Well, we are. Indirectly, whether it is direct or indirect, U.S. and China have been giving weapons. In the campaigns across northern Syria and Iraq, these jihadis have basically had the ability to further their campaigns via United States and China arsenals that they have taken over, and in large part captured arms and cartridges in Syria and Iraq. It shows a big warning, basically, for the policymakers, advocates on intervention, because it shows that we're doing doublespeak. Like, oh, we got to go and be humanitarian now, but we caused to oblique or indirect way, we caused
of course.
the problem.
And this is why we talk about this, Ryan, because to people like us that are awake and aware, it's total shenanigans. It's total BS. It's total, we went in there, we trained those guys, we gave them tactical training, we gave the rebels of Syria money, we gave them arms, we trained them, and then what happens? Oh, we look the other way, and then they look the other way. They turn around and they take over Iraq, and it's like,
exactly.
What do? We sit there and watch it. You tell me we can't drop 5,000 Marines in there a month ago to stop these guys? Of course we could have, but they're not doing anything. They got aircraft carriers out there with Marines on it. We're sitting right there. They're just going to watch it burn. They're going to watch it go down, and that's just what they want to do. Because that's what it's about. So hold on right there, Ryan. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we get back from commercial break, I want to touch on some real important topics. That's update on the Ebola outbreak, and then a little bit more about the volcanic activity that's going on the planet. So hang on right there. right, welcome back to the show. You're listening to Starseed Radio. We're joined by Matthew Dernick from BellwetherPost.com. Check out Ryan's latest news and updates. He's always putting out great articles. We also have a feed of his articles on StarseedRadio.com, where you can always check out our latest news and updates. And, of course, I want to give a shout-out to Shungite. We've been selling Shungite last week, so thank you for the listeners out there that have been buying Shungite. We got some new pieces, some amazing pieces on the website. You can check out StarseedTechnologies.com. So, Ryan, let me talk a little bit about ISIS. We know that they're getting closer to Baghdad. They were funded, trained by us, and blah, blah, blah. Like, another shenanigan for the people that should really help wake people up, but people are just nowadays don't have a lot of common sense that can't figure it out.
And ISIS is also closer to taking hold of some islands strategically as they get closer and closer to pouring into Turkey, and that's really cause for worry. And that's really what's going on is you continually see they're displacing these large populations. We said 150,000, possibly 200,000, and now it is displaced into Turkey. It's just showing a sign that the ISIS campaign is growing in fervor, and the bombing campaigns that we have done, and we previously have done in other campaigns since the Gulf War in 1991 and all the way up to now, they don't work. Bombing campaigns don't work. They just cause more problems than good. And the fact that we use depleted uranium on the casings, it's in the fact that you have a shelf life of 500 million years for the depleted uranium on the casings, and that's one way the globalists get rid of the depleted uranium from the very, as they say, clean, renewable energy that is is nuclear power, which I think is a total crock, but that's a different topic of discussion. But in other news, what's going on? There was an earthquake over the weekend in Mexico. It did jostle most of Mexico. It was a 5.4. And most of Guatemala. The fact is that it was so deep; it was 150 miles deep. And when you have a deep earthquake versus a shallow earthquake,
that's a deep one. Yeah,
deep earthquakes actually they propagate. The waves, the P waves and the S waves will propagate further, and the P waves always reach first. And in regards to the P waves and S waves, shear waves are one of the biggest damaging aspect to earthquakes, and that is why that they are pushing in California and Oregon as well as Washington, trying to get legislators, the USGS is saying we can get these surface monitor sensors in, and they can have up to 10 seconds, and people are like, that's not a lot of time. If you know a big earthquake's coming and you have 10 seconds, you probably can get somewhere and within that 10 seconds. And that's what they're trying to do to legislation, get that passed in the near term, possibly in the state of California, and then thereafter Oregon and Washington. They're going to need about 480 of these sensors. And back to Ebola. Ebola, actually, they had a possible diagnosis of Ebola in Miami. I don't know if you heard about that yesterday. Down in Miami Beach, they quartered off many streets. Yes, that fortunately was shown to not be Ebola, though the individual had symptoms, flu-like symptoms, and that's what you look for with Ebola, is flu-like symptoms. Nothing really came to rise from that.
I did read how Dallas schools are now putting heat sensors in their classrooms as a deterrent for Ebola. And they will, kids that are in these classrooms are getting sensors put in to detect if a student has a fever, so they can immediately take them out of class and do testing and stuff.
And those are in 3 Dallas schools that they're doing that, and then they're also going to start doing that on flight screenings, because over the weekend you also had in New Jersey another scare. An individual was vomiting and very sick on the plane. They had grounded for 90 minutes. This was in Newark, New Jersey airport. And luckily, fortunately, the individual did not have Ebola again. But you're starting to see more and more cases arise where people are noticing people have flu-like symptoms. And in regards to other, like a virus such as the enterovirus C68, has been shown now 4 deaths since its onset in August. And it afflicts children, and it affects the upper respiratory systems specifically, and it can also cause temporary paralysis in individuals. And unfortunately, just a couple of days ago, there was a child that died in New Jersey, went to bed, and he passed overnight, unfortunately, in his sleep, and that was from the enterovirus. And the only symptom that he exuded or showed was basically a pink eye. You can't, so you got to really be wary. Wash your hands. A lot of these things are transmitted through bodily fluids. Be careful of taking your hands to your mouth, or your nose, your eyes. because those are ways you introduce it into your bloodstream, into your body. And so
exactly.
It's just
just a side note for the listeners out there, Ryan. So when people hear us talk about these news and updates, it's not that we're talking about these things like, oh my God, the Ebola virus is coming, everybody cover your mouth. We're talking about this stuff so you can be aware. So like when Winfox was talking about on Friday, he has different herbal medicines that he takes on a daily basis to boost his immune system. So when, God forbid, an Ebola virus outbreak happens or something, contacts you, your immune system is up to par. Why I'm saying this is because take means now to build your immune system. Take means now, like he was talking about sugar, how bad sugar is. It just runs down your immune system to nothing. Like, take heed to
and
that.
And there's an interesting point of note for the Ebola outbreak that started in Sierra Leone, Liberia, and Nigeria. Now that it's expanding, keep in mind, just a little bit ago, they had a year or so ago, year and a half ago, they did vaccinations there for the bird flu, if you remember. Okay. So they did the bird flu.
We all know what vaccinations are. The
vaccinations weaken your immune system. Weaken your immune system by 50%, and they can cause Guillain-Barré syndrome with paralysis as well. There are homeopathic, holistic ways of vaccinating or preventing yourself from being sick when you travel or go to another environment outside.
Yeah, that's BS. It's just like the flu shots. They advertise everywhere. It's just, get a flu shot and fight the flu. Meanwhile, they're injecting you with the flu.
My mother's friend just passed, actually. My mother's friend just passed. I won't say her name, but she just passed. She's totally healthy. Got a flu shot. Got really sick. Was in the hospital, and she had organ failure. Yeah, and it was totally correlated. I bet you. They won't prove that.
That's it right there. And even the children getting vaccinated now. The percentage of children dying now after their first set of vaccinations?
The battery of vaccinations for children. Yeah, the battery of vaccinations for children. You're now given like 54 different vaccinations for children. It's serious.
If there's any callers out there, call into the station. If you have children that have gotten flu shots and your children got sick, call the station. It's 800-313-9443. We'd love to hear from you. Again, that's 800-313-9443. If any parents out there have children that have gotten flu shots or gotten these vaccines or then themselves have gotten sick, call the station. Let's hear about it. Because it's the people that have to voice their opinion and tell people and spread awareness about what's going on, because otherwise, if you're just like, the viruses are in there and the flu shots make you sick and there's you don't talk to people. Oh, you're crazy. You're just crazy. What do you mean? Flu shots they make you sick. Do some research on it. Google it. YouTube it. Do your homework before you just go to CVS and Walgreens and you get injected by some new flu vaccine. I mean, why get something injected in you that is the disease you're trying to fight? I mean, that doesn't make sense to me anyway. It's just the fact they
and they also said that they put mercury in the vaccines as well, and they actually had a news report about 5 months ago that actually said the mercury is now shown to be fine for the body in children, and actually is beneficial. Go figure that one out. I don't get how you injecting mercury and entwined with the vaccine was going to be beneficial for you, but hey. That's perception.
We know it's just another ploy by the elite to make us sick.
Yeah.
And the good news is we ain't getting sick. We're still putting out light. We're still putting out love. We don't care what they do. We're still moving forward. Ryan, as always, thank you for coming on the show. Check out melweatherpost.com. Much love and light, man. That's all we got to do. Just raise the awareness and do what you can to spread the knowledge. So thanks for coming on the air. We'll have you back on tomorrow, and talk to you soon. Right. Welcome back to the show. You're listening to Starseed Radio. Thank you, Ryan, again for all the news and updates, and for everyone out there, check out starseedradio.com for the latest news and updates, as well as you can check our iTunes and podcast page. You can follow us on Twitter, check out our Facebook page, like us, and of course check out starseedtechnology.com. Check out the shungite stones we got going off. And with that, we're going to go to our next guest, joining us all the way from Thailand. We have Luke Mitchell, who's joining us on the show, who's going to talk about electronic medicine and cell regeneration. Luke, how's it going, Star Brother? How's Thailand?
Swaddy Cap, namaste, you're all the way from Thailand, but I'm originally from Australia, just so they don't think I'm Thai. Jonah?
No worries, though. So, Luke, jump into a little bit. First, explain to the listeners, what is electronic medicine?
Okay, electronic medicine is still holistic. There's a lot of holistic medicine out there, but a lot of people today get confused. Electronic medicine is not holistic, but your body is a massive electronic conductor and a massive you've got a Microsoft network system in there, and that's why we have minerals in our body and water. So we're a big battery with 75 trillion little cells. So I want to be very clear the difference between nutritional health and electronic medicine is being used by the Egyptians 12,000 years ago and the Chinese for 5,000 years ago. So most people can relate to some electronic medicine. That's acupuncture. That's electronic medicine. But today, in 2014, we have, since the rifle machine and evolution of human technologies, which I'm into, is we can treat directly to the cell with microcurrents or even electronic water, because you're 80% water. So it's a human technology that started with the Egyptians, with the Chinese, and we've gone a little bit further today than just a few needles in your back.
Now, electronic medicine, when you say it goes back to the Egyptians, how would they use electronic medicine back in the day?
Well, they used even gong medicine. You can use energy. Electronic medicine falls under energy medicine. Now, that's a vibration. So having a music that sounds good, that's energy medicine. Gongs, there's healing gongs. You've heard about that? That's energy
Absolutely.
medicine. So there's you can listen to meditation tapes with certain hertz of music which stimulate and vibrate into your cell, and they start to wake up the DNA, the broken DNA in your cell. So energy medicine is where we're at, but I sort of got involved by accident 12 years ago in Asia on electronic medicine. You can talk about magnets. There's a lot of gadgets out there, Jonah, and there's some that work, and there's a lot that don't. So I'm going to be very clear on that, because a lot of people were into the vitamins and the broccoli and that, but I've dealt with stage 3, stage 4 cancer, and I've come across better and better technologies over the last 12 years. But all we want to do is let's get to the basics. What is aging, and what is wrong with the cells when they don't repair or when you can't heal yourself? Now, all the technologies that I'm involved with do not heal you. You only heal yourself. So I've been lucky enough on my accidental journeys to find the best technologies through 12 years that basically we enhance the cell's operation. We can stimulate the matrix and the DNA, but we're going to go back to free radicals. If people understand what free radicals are, people talk about antioxidants and nutrition and vitamins and minerals. Aging is a free radical or disease. No, disease is disease of the cell. So what we do with a free radical in electronic medicine with microcurrent, we donate an extra electron to the free radicals. So this is simple. If the listeners haven't heard this yet, it's really simple, that a free radical cell and a healthy cell, the difference is one cell lost an electron. Okay? So why am I having vitamins, minerals, or drugs if I just lost an electron? So I went straight accidentally into electronic medicine to stay fit and healthy, and I donate, and these machines, these technologies donate electrons to your broken cells or your imbalanced cells. So if you want, I can talk about why is it called a free radical. Because they break away from the healthy cells, they're free, and they're radical. And then they become a scavenger cell looking for that lost electron, and they start stealing electrons from healthy cells around them, and that becomes a disease in that area of the body.
So,
like a scavenger.
When you go into preventing disease and stuff, electronic medicine, I know you're big into like the alkalized water, which also, as your body, free radicals can't grow, correct?
Okay. When you talk about the water, I've got live electron water or ionized water. There's a lot of talk about alkalized water. The water is a Japanese technology that I found, and the water, the miracle with this water is it's giving, similar to my other electronic medicine, is donating live electrons to the free radicals, one. Alkaline's a little bit to it, but there's a lot of people against that, for that. But the main thing with this Japanese technology, it donates an electron. It's a live electrons in there. It has active hydrogen in this water, which increases oxygen in your bloodstream. We're all lacking that today in this polluted world. And it also, it's going to change the charge of this water is a minus 400 p, and all the other waters you're drinking are plus 200, 300, which is, the cells don't work in harmony like that. Cancer likes acidic environments and hexagonal. We're going to talk about hexagonal water. You've heard about hexagonal water, Jonah?
No, I have not.
Okay, so that's amazing. So this water from Japan, we're going to talk about this electronic Japanese water. We won't tell the brand. I'm not here to sell brands. But if you look up hexagonal water, cancer doesn't work in hexagonal water, and your body's 80% water. Cancer likes unstructured water cells. Okay, and there's all these holy wells around the water, holy waters in Mexico, in Lourdes in France, Mecca in the Middle East for the Muslims. And these holy waters have amazing healings. And this Japanese company said, how can these holy water do these amazing healings inside and outside? So they went and took the water from all the holy wells and they studied it as a science, and they found it had active hydrogen, hexagonal cells, and it actually was a minus 400 ORP, oxidation reduction potential. So there's a little bit more to big water and small water, and the bottled water out there is not what we're talking about. People are paying a lot of money for bottled water out there. A lot of it's straight out of the tap.
A lot of it's just sink water. Yeah, it's right out of the tap. A lot of it. Most of it.
So with the water, we're going from electronic medicine. My water is electronic medicine. But I want to go back to, if I put your finger into a power box, if you put your finger into the point, you're going to be dead in a second, Jonah. So on that statement, electricity can kill the strongest guy who goes to the gym, whether he's 6'7" or not. He'll be knocked out across the room in 1 second with electricity. Okay, then what they do is you give them mouth to mouth, you then do CRP, then you break a few ribs, do your heart massage, then they whack you with a big needle and paramedics for adrenaline, and if everything else fails, guess what they do, Jonah, at the end?
They zap you with electricity.
Hello. So what my little story there is, electricity can kill you in 1 second, and electricity can bring your life back in 1 second. Okay, but we do the healing and the optimization of cells, or we can call it cell regeneration. That means I give you an electron to all your free radicals, and I regenerate sick, old, rundown cells. And that's what aging is. Sick, toxic, rundown cells that have lost an electron, and we just tune them up. It's like taking a car to dyno tune. I come and dyno tune all your cells in one shot holistically, because your body is full of water and minerals, So why do we have minerals in there, Jonah? They're fantastic conductors for your electronic messages for healing.
Now, when you talk about some of these electronic medicines for just a regular consumer out there, what are some good ways where people listening to the show can get some electronic medicine that would be cost effective and would also give them the experience of feeling healthier and noticing a difference? What are some of the best electronic medicines for like water that people can try, consumers out there listening to the show?
Okay. Well, I'm going to have to sort of endorse. It took the two technologies I'm going to share with you. It's taken me 12 years to check worldwide, and I only like to do the best. And usually the best technology, Jonah's products are dearer than or more expensive than the others, Jonah, because they are the real deal. So one of the water we're talking about is called Enagic Kangen water, and this Japanese medical company has been using this technology in hospitals in Japan for 40 years, but the Western world's just finding out about it. And that's called Enagic Kangen water. You might have heard about that term, Kangen, Kangen, Kangen or Kangen. It's the mother company is Enagic, and they've been doing medical water in hospitals for 40 years, and now they've sort of put it into the household. So most people don't know about this amazing Japanese water technology. And it's not an alkaline machine for your kitchen. It's not a kitchen appliance. It's actually a medical device for your family at home. I'll repeat the name: Enagic, Japan, or Kangen water.
Okay, Luke, hang on right there. We got to take a quick commercial break. All right, welcome back to the show. You're listening to Starseed Radio. Check out starseedradio.com for the latest news and updates. We're joined by a very special guest all the way from Thailand. We're talking about electronic medicine and also about water purification, water restructuring. It also goes into the shungite, which I've been talking about the last couple of weeks. But we have a caller real quickly, Luke. I want to take a caller on line one. We have Linda from Ohio. Linda, welcome to the show.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you fine.
Okay,
You had a comment on the vaccine experience.
Yes. I didn't hear a click on this end. I'd say about 15 to 18 years ago, I'm a registered nurse, and my mother was elderly. She was in her 70s, but she was a good 78, I believe, at the time, and I used to take her to one doctor. He knew not to give her any shots. But inadvertently, I got married, moved to another, locality, and they took her to a new doctor. And I forgot. I didn't think to tell him, no flu shots, no pneumonia shots. Well, obviously, on our first visit, he offered her one, and, because of her age, and she should have one, and she took it, and I'd say within 3 or 4 weeks, like the similar caller, she had organ failure. Just came out of the blue suddenly, within, I'd say, a week to 10 days after her flu shot. And I started asking other people whose elderly parents might have been in the hospital. And I asked them, did they have the flu shot? And they said yes. So things started to come together then. And
this was a while ago, Linda.
This was a while ago, yes. She never had a flu shot before. Or it was either called a flu shot or a pneumonia shot, or a flu shot to prevent the pneumonia. The point is I never let her get those shots because she didn't need one.
Exactly. Exactly.
But it did happen to her, just like that former caller said. She went into organ failure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we want to, thank you so much for calling in, Linda, and sharing that, just raising awareness that these flu shots are not here to help us. They actually make us sicker or, like you said, possibly can kill you. So thank you so much for calling in. We really appreciate the call. Thank you, Linda. And jumping back to Luke, we talked a little bit earlier, Luke, about, vaccines. They're injecting you with the virus itself, the vaccines, and how people, babies, older people, they die when they get this disease that they're being injected with, quote unquote, as a vaccine. It's just crazy. So you go into like the water restructuring and the alkalized water you're talking about. These are all methods to help deter, obviously, against flu and other things like that. Correct?
Yep. Jonah, what we're really doing with electronic medicine and free radical transformation, or what aging is your current drops. When you get run down, that means your 75 trillion cells are run down, and you can have a Ferrari, but if you have a flat battery, the car ain't going to start in the morning. So we're the same. We're just a big battery, or like a beehive full of 75 trillion cells. And the facts of this is when you find out that a stage 4 cancer cell, you measure the cell, the electronic potential on the cell membrane. For a stage 4 cancer cell, the measurement for the membrane for electricity pass through it is minus 20 millivolts. Okay, that's a stage 4 cancer cell. For a super healthy cell, it's minus 70 millivolts to minus 90 millivolts. So that's not a big tacho. Imagine that on your tacho of your dashboard, empty, full. You're full of life. So you're empty. Your life is empty when you hit minus 20 millivolts, Jonah. Your life is full when it's minus 70 millivolts. So most people out there in the city today are probably running on around about minus 50, and as they get older, your Q10 drops, which is very important. I want to talk about something, if people are not aware of it, including is the secret to life for Luke Mitchell. Why I use these technologies? All they do is increase your ATP levels in your cells. ATP, if you haven't heard of it, ladies and gentlemen, is adenosine triphosphate. And that is the beginning of vibration and life in your cells, in your mitochondria, in the matrix. It's called the matrix, Jonah. That's where it all happens. So what we do is we go in and stimulate the matrix and kickstart those old cells. And when they get some horsepower back by increasing ATP, they now can push all the toxins that you've been taking, whether it be a flu, chemicals, poisons, Coca-Cola, whatever it may be. The cell membranes are not opening when you're old. So the nutrition cannot get in and the toxins cannot get out. So with the water, I flood out. I permeate the cell membrane with nice water with a smaller water, it's a nano water. We put the electron in, the extra electron, to kickstart the old motor again, and then the cell opens, we get ATP and push all the toxins out into the blood and get it down the toilet. So with electronic medicine and the water, we push out all these toxins, and if I clean all your cells, Jonah, you're going to wake up feeling better, and then your immune system kicks back into gear again. Nothing heals you except for you and your immune system. So a super powerful immune system cell will be minus 70 millivolts to minus 90. If you're minus 40, your cells have probably got blood poisoning and you'll deteriorate from there. And more free radicals and more free radicals and more free radicals, and that's called aging. If you get a free radical infestation in your pancreas, that's called diabetes. There's no disease. It's dis-ease in the pancreas, too many free radicals in the pancreas. So there's too many chemicals in the cells to make insulin.
So when you talk about preventing any type of disease, like I said earlier, to use these electronic medicines, as we call them, as you talked about when you talk electronic medicine, like in the ancient days when you're talking about sound healing, in terms of like music of the spheres, these vibrations themselves, like electronic medicine, help eradicate all the different free radicals in the body and bacteria. So to drink like the Kangen water on a daily basis to alkalize the body is a preventative thing to do against all disease, correct?
Okay, we got to just got to clarify. The Kangen water is not an alkaline water machine only. It does about 5 different technologies to tap water. So alkaline is a little bit of it. It's important, but it's actually the water is that this technology changes your big water, 20 molecule H2O, into small water, which is 5 molecules. So now that water can get inside the cells and push out those toxins and flood them out. The other water you're drinking is just going to your stomach and bloating you. That's why a lot of people don't like water. So one of the technologies in Kangen water is it changes big water into nano water. Plus, it brings in active hydrogen in the water, which increases oxygen in your blood, and blood is pretty important. And then we get your water. Now, let's think about your body. It's 80% water. If you put the wrong software in your computer, it ain't going to work real good, Jonah. And water, to me, is just software. It goes to every, and it transports all your nutrition. So if you've got the wrong water in there, you've got the wrong software in the computer. So your healing is going to get confused. So if we put the right water, the hexagonal water, with active hydrogen, with a negative charge water, there's a minus 400 ORP. It's a negative charged water. This is important too. So it's a lot to share on the radio. There's a lot of properties the same as the healing holy waters have. So the Japanese went and took the holy water and discovered these holy waters have 5 different things to normal water. So yeah, we want to start with water before nutrition, because when your cells are clogged out, the cell membrane can't open, and if you've got the wrong water, your vitamins won't get in there. And we want to take, the water is the truck that transports the nutrition into the cell. So nutrition is important, but if you've got the wrong water, you can't get it into where it's. The electronic donation of the water is free radicals. We get the free radicals back into harmonized cells, and then your immune system does its job. So you heal yourself. We're just giving you some new horsepower and getting out the poison with our state-of-the-art human technology today from Japan and America. So you heal yourself. This water does not heal you. My electronic machines does not heal you. I do not heal you. I just bring up your ATP levels, adenosine triphosphate, open up the cells so we can start getting the bad stuff out and
Luke, we have about 30 seconds left. Give out some information so people can get in contact with you, learn about more of this new electronic technology. And you said the most important thing, you're not healing them, everyone heals themselves. So where can people find out more information?
Just for now, I'm just setting up, just if they can contact me on my email, set up a new Facebook on both of these technologies. My email, if that's okay to use, Jonah, is that all right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so if you can email me at EEE, that's 3 E's, light and happiness, that's light, then an N, then happiness, that's EEE, light, the letter N, happiness, at gmail.com. So EEE, lightandhappiness.com at Gmail. Oh, sorry.
Excellent.
At Gmail.
All the way from Thailand, say hello to your beautiful pregnant wife, and hope everything out there works out for you the best, and we'll have you back on the show soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you for squeezing that information, all that information out there. So sure. Thank you, America, and Swadikap, namaste.
Namaste. Here's some more DJ Scalar. We'll talk to you tomorrow.